welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of January 11th, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me this week are two individuals that are happy to be back in their hot seats.
Ben Lawless, 2026.
Devon Craft, also 2026.
There you go.
We're all here in the new year. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, guys. What's happening?
We shouldn't sound so tired. We all sound exhausted.
This is the times we live in, Stephen.
It's so.
I'll try to.
Look, this is how I'm recording.
It's Sunday night for us.
It's Sunday night. I have half a cup of cold coffee in front of me from this morning. That's the vibe I'm going with. What about you guys? What's your vibe?
Oh, okay. I got some tea that I made like several hours ago, but it's still warm thanks to my Yeti. So. But
you're not in your typical.
It's not caffeinated
recording spot though.
No, so okay, all right. Throughout all the time with old dogs being around and whatnot,
yeah,
I've had to move like a computer into the bedroom, and so now I'm chatting to you from the bedroom. And tonight I moved my nice microphone in here, so that's why. You're getting this
bedroom
pure,
Ben.
Yeah, bedroom talk with Ben Lawless. And let me tell you, it's my bedroom.
Yep,
that's about it.
That's where I sleep.
And I can see it from here.
And Devon, you survived skiing or snowboarding or whatever you do with family.
Yeah, that was fun. It did snow, so we were able to go snowboarding. The boys were able to go snowboarding, and they actually did pretty good for their age and having never gone before. Like, we were pretty sure that Nolan wouldn't like it just because the discomfort of being in the snow and being cold and having to put on your boots and strapping on the board and stuff.
Oh, sounds exhausting.
And he did complain. Yeah. Like, he complained more on like leading up to it. He's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do that. But once we got out there, like, he actually really had fun, and like they could go down, like the bunny hill. But I didn't.
Too bad it's all downhill from here, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Boo.
But they did better than I expected. They did really well. We have some really fun video of them just like going down, like completely snowboarding like normal.
That's awesome. So for the holidays, you went to snow, which is great. I went to Hawaii.
Was it snowing?
It was not snowing.
Okay. All right. You paused there. I was like, whoa, Steven, tell me.
I was trying to think of something clever and no. It wasn't snowing. It was in the high 70s. I think it hit a couple in the 80s a few days. And the first day we were there, it was a tropical downpour all day, which really, pardon the pun, put a damper on our vacation. It's okay. Yeah. We survived. And for the rest of it, hey, the kids, there was a pool, so they had fun. It was fine. I'm not.
Right
look,
on.
Martine keeps. Gotta make sure she's not listening. Listen, guys.
Yeah.
Martine keeps asking me, like, "Hey, how was vacation?" And I'm just like, "It was fine." And she's looking at me like, "I can do better." And I'm like, "Please don't do better. I just want to stay home."
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I am not a go to a place person. I'm a stay at home person. It's just not.
So when somebody is like, "Hey, you Steven, go to hell," you'd be like, "I'd rather stay in hell.
I'd rather just
Thanks.
If I go, I'm not coming back. First of all."
So did you go with the kids? Was it a family trip?
Yeah, it was with Martine and the kids. It was a family.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. Is it's you're just taking care of your kids in a different, strange place. But I mean, really, we got started off crappy because there was a 4-hour delay on our first flight. So the kids are all jacked up. They're ready to go. We've packed. We've dropped off our old dying dog at somebody's house. She's not dying. Hello.
Somebody here.
Thank you, Ben.
We're all dying.
I mean, that's a perfect Devon response. I missed that. We're all dying. And so we get to the first airport, and the first thing is supposed to be a 1-hour flight to San Francisco. There'd be transfer, and the transfer was quick. It was we had 10 minutes to get to the next gate before loading on again, and then doing the 6-hour flight to Hawaii. And so I was like, all right, we got them iPads for Christmas so that we could load movies on there. We got them the wireless headphones. That was our big purchase for them this year. And so they're all excited. I put a bunch of games on there for them using the Apple Arcade because we subscribe to it. Now we have a family for our family plan, which is awesome. And nice. we get to the airport, and we look, and it says delayed, and we go, oh, it's delayed. And it's not until at half an hour, maybe 45 minutes after we should have boarded, that the information was finally updated that the plane was not coming. And we'd have to wait for the next plane. And so then that caused us to miss our connecting flight. So then Martine, and this is her wheelhouse, she hopped on her phone, she started doing things, she called people, she stood in lines, and she got us on another flight from San Francisco to Hawaii at the time the new plane was going to drop us off there. So right off the bat, I was like, I already didn't want to do any of this. But other than to be with my family, right? I like to be with my family. I'd like to be with my family, not traveling. So, that wasn't off to a great start. When we finally got there, we showed up at 1 a.m. instead of 11 when we should have, or whatever it was, whatever the numbers are. We didn't get to our hotel until 1:30 or 2, something like that. And so the next day we wake up, the time's all wonky for us. Only a 2-hour difference, which is interesting because I guess Hawaii doesn't do the daylight savings time thing. So it was only a 2-hour difference in time, if that matters, not 3. So then the next day, like I said, it was all downpours. And that was the day that we're supposed to go to these different locations and check out Hawaiian stuff. And we went to this temple, this Japanese temple that's a replica of a super old temple that's in Japan, and there's all these grounds and peacocks and ducks. You're supposed to walk around. Couldn't do any of it, and we just got soaked. Anyways, we ended up going to the resort, and it was Aulani, the Disney resort, because we're Disney people, I guess.
What island is it on?
That's on Oahu.
Okay.
And it's a really nice resort. We did pay for the niceness, but it was very nice. And there was nothing wrong with our room or service or anything like that. All that was great. All the resort stuff was fine. But, in order for me to kind of handle it for as long as we were there and doing all the things, I was not sober. And there's a couple pictures of me, and I do not look sober in the pictures. Because I wasn't.
So Martine had to parent you as well. Huh?
No, I just sat what's great is our kids 7 and 11, and all they want to do is swim in the pools, and they had these 2 different pools. They had a lazy river, they had water slides, a big thing to climb on. There's all this awesome stuff for kids there, right? It's a family resort.
Yeah, and
there were enough lifeguards and other people, that I was like, oh, I don't have to keep an eye on them at all. I just have to be near for an emergency. But I didn't have to sit there and stare at them, make sure they're not going to drown or something like that.
Right.
So that was nice. That allowed a level of relaxation. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to get this mojito. Oh, a rum floater. Yes, please. Oh, this one, it went down so quickly. How about another? So, Mai Tais and mojitos and just hanging out by the pool. They also had this other thing. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about because it's boring. There's something called Auntie's Beach House, and it is essentially like a daycare, but more specialized. You had to like sign up for certain things. But it was a thing where you could drop your kids off, and for like a 3-hour gap, and they would like play games with them and give them snacks, and there were different themes and all this stuff. Like one day it was Kakamora Chaos with Moana, right? So there was somebody dressed up as, and this is Disney, right? So it's somebody really that looks like Moana, more or less, and played with them and
genetically
did
engineered.
She was genetically,
creature.
Kravli, what's her name? I don't remember what her name is. The girl that does Moana's voice and does the singing. Her name's an awesome Hawaiian name that I don't remember. Ben's looking it up right now. But yeah, if they just I don't know why they cast somebody else for the Moana movie, because she is Moana. Like it doesn't make any sense. So yeah,
I was gonna ask. I didn't know if they used her or for the live action one or not. I guess so. They didn't.
No, they have not. It's somebody else. But which I mean, maybe they offered it to her and she said no, thank you. I don't know, because she's not like an actress. She was originally hired just to do the singing voice, and then they liked her so much, and she was able to, do the lines or whatever, and they fired whoever the other person they had hired to voice Moana and let her do that as well. So I mean, it could very well be she's just not an actress and is like not interested at all. But you look at her and you're like, oh, well, you are obviously of some kind of Polynesian descent. Maybe she's Hawaiian. I don't know. But it's like all the characteristics are there that she is Moana. Like you look at her and go, oh, that's Moana. It's crazy. Anyways, that's dad stuff. So Hawaii was fine. We got home 2 days ago-ish, and I'm still recovering. Just from flights and time change, and it's a lot. But hey, there was another episode of Fallout, so that was cool.
Okay, yeah, at least there's that.
So that was, and I watched it while I was in Hawaii. And it was fine.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Well, I'll tell you something that is better than fine, Stephen.
Tell me.
There is a video game that's come out. I know half of our listeners have checked out. A few more are leaning in right now. But I'd like to talk a little bit about Blippo Plus, which I picked up recently on Steam, but it's also on Switch. And the basic idea is it's a video game, but it's harder on the video and less of the game. The basic structure of it is it's like you're changing channels during the early days of basic cable. Like there's like 8 or 9 different channels to switch between, and every channel has these 1 minute long like shows on it that are all about, well, it's not TV from Earth. It's all broadcast from a planet called the Blip, which is a world that feels a lot like ours, with English as its primary language, but with occasional differences in slang. Many cases, there's the ability to interview the long dead via consciousness particles. And yeah, right. And broadcast technology, it seems, stuck in the late 1980s. And so it's this, like, think a slightly less zany interdimensional cable from Rick and Morty.
I'm sorry, what was that? From what in Morty?
Interdimensional cable from Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. It sounded like you said like Rock and Morty or something.
Like Rock and Morty. Rock and Morty through the new year.
Rockin' New Year's Eve with Morty.
Yeah. 100 years.
100 years, Morty.
Yeah. So basically the idea though is that there's each week of game time, which, I mean, you probably like watch it for maybe 30 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. And then you get access to another data packet that has another week's quote unquote, half an hour's worth of shows, probably more or less than that. But, and so there's a storyline that goes through all of these different shows, but the shows themselves are exceptionally cool. One of them is a TV show where it's a bunch of teenagers that have taken over the airwaves, and it's called Boredome. There's Bushwalker, which is essentially looks kind of like a first-person video game. Think like Skyrim, but it's like actual video footage of someone just walking through the woods with like a knife and a shield. But you just see, hands in front of you with knives and shield.
This sounds amazing.
There's Clone Trois, which is a hospital-based soap opera where all of the characters are clones of one another, and they're all like in illicit affairs and getting married, and it is wild. There's like an Antiques Roadshow type show where they're just kind of like pointing at different objects from the planet that are that they think that, of course, what this is. Do you remember what this little toy that dances back and forth is? Of course. And I also very much like their morning show, Wake Up Universe, is just incredible.
Wow.
There's like a show where they're talking about all the drama within like the making of the other shows too. And so you kind of learn that like Wake Up Universe, one of the hosts can never really wake up, and like the other host is like carrying the entire show. But anyhow,
okay. So
I highly recommend.
What's the
Blippo Plus.
gameplay? Like, what are you doing?
You are changing channels.
So you're just okay.
Yeah, and there's also like a you can read like an in-universe bulletin board too. Like the basic idea is that they found this this portal in space, this wormhole that they call the Bend, and they're like, oh, we can tell that there's another planet on the other end of this wormhole that can receive like signals that we send to it. So we're just going to send it our TV shows. And at one point, about maybe in packet 2 or 3, they end up sending 5 Bliponauts out into the Bend that are chosen entirely at random. Even if they don't want to go, they've got to go.
Okay.
And they go into the Bend, and nobody hears from them again for at least for where I'm at in the show. And so like they're like, well, hey, all of our programming to try to introduce all of these slang to our friends in this other planet, we're just going to cancel that because obviously it's not worth it now that we can't travel there.
So,
but it's
the planet.
Yeah, we the inhabitants of Blip, and so like it, between all of the music videos and all of the other programming that's on it, it doesn't feel like it's a parody. It feels like it's a media ecosystem with an actual culture, and it is so worth your time. It's published by Panic, who also published games that you might know as like Untitled Goose Game. They published.
Oh, that was fun.
Despalote, Time Flies. Yeah. Thank Goodness You're Here. So like they've got a history of really, really creative games that they publish. And this one is not one you should sleep on.
So if I get this straight, the packets are kind of like the levels. So you get packet 1, and that's a half hour's worth of TV shows that are a minute long, and there's like 30 of them, right? So you flip through
more or
them,
less, yeah.
You flip through them, and you watch as because aren't they all running like concurrently, so you can miss stuff?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
You can miss stuff, but each channel is on a loop.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Like, yeah. So then like usually the way I play it is I watch a channel until I recognize what it is I've seen, and then I go to the next channel.
Okay. So then you watch all of that.
You don't have to play it that way.
Well,
That's just how I'm playing it.
Okay. So you do that. You consume what you want to consume. Pick up any kind of storylines that your brain is interested in, and then when does packet 2 happen? It's timed like a week later.
You'll get a notification. you'll get a notification. And usually playing it on Steam or on Switch, it's a little different than its original plan. Like it was originally a Playdate game. So if you know anything about the Playdate, which you may not,
I know I do because you've told me about it, but tell the people.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So the Playdate is a completely new, tiny handheld game system that has a bunch of brand new games that are just made just for fun. And the entire idea is these are games that, for the most part, except for Blippo Plus, you can only play on the Playdate. And the system resembles kind of like a squished down Game Boy, but it also has a crank on it. And it's got what they call a 1-bit display, where it's just one color and a lot of dithering and stuff. Mm-hmm. When they made Blippo Plus originally, the entire idea was, well, what if the Playdate had a like cable TV streaming service on it?
Okay.
And so that was sort of the idea. And so Blippo Plus is part of season 2 of their video games that they've released for it. And it's what's interesting is that like for that, it's actually 11 weeks worth of programming that you can't like get a new packet and go to. You actually have to watch it. Watch the stuff that's on this week, and then if you've missed something, too bad. You'll have to come back in 11 weeks because it comes back around again. So the packets are.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the packets are kind of the Switch and the Steam releases conceit of, okay, you're not like tied to the same constraints that are in the Playdate. But you can press a button and get the crank. The crank is just a crank on the side.
But what does that have to do? How do you use the crank with Blippo? Like, okay, listen to the sentence. I'm cranking it for Blippo. Sure. Is that something that people would say when they have the Playdate? Like, hey, I'm cranking it for Blippo. Have you ever cranked it for Blippo?
I don't have the Playdate, so I'm not certain what the crank does in that game. I don't know, but I assume that it's how you change channels.
That would make sense, I suppose.
Yeah,
all remote controls should just be a series of cranks and a couple of levers. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, wouldn't that would be wonderful. So, but I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's going to be great. If you are into like psychic weather reports and and like they have another game or a game show that's called I think it's called the Glizzard, but like it's essentially a game show tied to a tabletop role-playing game and quiz show. No, Quizzard, that's what it's called.
Oh,
and it's so good. Like some of my favorite TV is on Blippo Plus.
This sounds like it could be a Dropout Media production.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's, much like Dropout, it's all original programming. There is nothing in it that you've ever seen before. Everything has been made for Blippo Plus.
In the world of remakes and sequels, that kind of stuff is gold now. To find something new and original, it's like, ooh, give me more.
And it's just a bunch, like if you're bored with watching, what you're like the current interview that you're watching, you can either flip the channel or know that in a minute you'll probably get a minute-long video of Coca-Cola bubble or cola bubbles coming up the screen. Like you don't know. It's wow, it's pretty incredible.
It seems like something that you could enjoy in any sort of state of mind that you happen to be in.
Yeah, and it was made without the use of generative AI. Too.
Beautiful. See, there you go. If something's a piece of art, it shouldn't be like that. That's awesome. All right. Devon, did you have anything about real life you want to talk about? I mean, we can hear you playing the guitar, so you're obviously
Sorry.
back. No, not in an annoying way, or I would have said so.
I appreciated it. Yeah.
I mean, yes, I've been trying to practice guitar at least an hour a day. I didn't really have time to, but I'm trying not to annoy you guys. I can put it down, but I'm really trying. Well, there's a few things I'm doing. I'm trying to really focus on like particular techniques and like just playing them over and over, like you're supposed to. Like I never did when I used to play guitar. To get those techniques down. Plus, I'm learning a solo from a Metallica song because I was never able to really play the solos. I never, just mostly because I never took the time to like really break it down and practice the hard parts. Once I could play like the rhythm and those parts, I would always just like play along to a song, but just play like not the solos. So I'm trying to like actually focus and like play the solos. So right now I'm like practicing particular segments.
But like for a solo, is it just a matter of memorizing what they did, or is it more like, oh, first they're in this key, or they're whatever the language is?
I mean, it's playing along like note for note. So it's like I'm trying to learn the solo from Blackened, the first song on Injustice for All. It's a very fast song. And I chose that song because I never learned to play even the rhythm part of it, because the tab book is notoriously bad for that album, and specifically for that song, it's horrendous. So when I in high school was like, I want to play Blackened, and I looked at the tabs, I'm like, that makes no sense whatsoever. And now that I know how it's actually played, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, that they weren't even close. But
like, I wonder how they made that. Like, was somebody just listening to the album real close, or were they like staring at Kirk Hammett's fingers at a concert and trying to remember it all? Like, how did they do that?
Well, those are all done. They're all done by ear. They're done by professional musicians, and they get a lot of it right. Like it's a tough thing to do. Well, if you're a professional musician, it's maybe not that tough to do, but to put it all together and like write it down, all the things. And there's a difference between writing down the notes and then writing down the tab, because it's like, okay, you wrote the correct note, but then when you wrote the tab, you didn't like think about how it's played on guitar, and you're having the person play all these notes in weird places. That's the correct notes, but you're jumping between places, where if you just paid attention to what you're doing, it's a very simple pattern in one position. Things like that too.
Okay, so they accidentally make it harder than it should be.
Yes, and there's probably plenty of people on YouTube that do this, but there's one guy in particular I watch who does a bad tab section. And I love it because it's like all the tab books I had in high school, and he has the same stories. He's like, I looked at this and I was like, I want to play that song. I'm going to play it this way because that's how they say to play it. And then he learns, later in life, I'm like, actually, you do this. And it's like way easier. Which is also how the actual musician plays it. Because if you watch them in concert, on video or stuff, it's like, it's very simple what they're doing. Anyway, I chose this song to learn getting back into guitar, because I'm like, well, I've never been able to play the rhythm part, and it has a really cool solo. And so I want to learn the whole thing. And I can already play the rhythm part. That's all those riffs they're fast, they're technical, but they're fun. And once you get them down, they're not too hard. But the solo has very distinct sections to it. And so it's very easy to break down kind of section by section, and then like sets of bars. Like, and there's a lot of tapping in it, which is another thing I was never good at. So I'm practicing like tapping. There's, it's funny because it sounds really cool, but if you actually break it down, there's only like a few parts that are really hard, and the rest is actually kind of like, I can actually do that. And that's why it's like, if I take certain parts and then just the parts I can't play, the really fast parts, I'm like, just play it very slow, play it with the metronome, just keep doing it over and over until it's like, you don't even think about it, and then play it really fast. And then
is that fun? So is that fun for you to do?
Oh yeah, it's really fun. Well, when you see results, you're like, oh man, I never thought I'd be able to do that. But all I have to do is like spend time doing it.
Bip, bop,
but it's
bop, bop, bip, bop, bop, bop.
Yeah,
over and over again.
No, I've been doing that, and again, that's one thing that I've always liked learning guitar. It's fun to play, and if you really want to be good at it, like any instrument, you've got to use a metronome. And it's always like, oh, that's so lame. But I'm doing that. I'm like, all right, I'm setting the metronome to 120 beats per minute, and I'm playing this thing, and now I got it down. I'm gonna up it by 10 beats per minute, and then I'm gonna up it by another 10 beats per minute until I can play at the right speed.
How
Doing
fast
it.
is that solo? What's the BPM on it?
Well, the fast part's 190. I think before that it's 140.
Wow.
Because it has a breakdown in the middle of the song, which is a really cool breakdown. But then the solo starts in that section, so there's still that slower tempo. But then there's a part like where there's another breakdown where it gets faster, and then it just like comes all in and it's really fast, and it starts off with this really fast shredding part for two measures. But after that, it's actually kind of easy again. So if I can get those two measures down,
You want to give us a little taste of what you've been working on?
uh, I'd have to turn on my amp for you to hear it, and I think
Nah,
kids are asleep.
just put the strings next to the mic. If it's no good, I'll cut it out.
I mean, you can't even like hear it really. I mean, well enough to.
Come on.
And now I'm nervous about it.
Come on.
And now he's nervous about it.
Wow. We've played on
See what you
stage
did,
together,
Steven?
Devin. It's just think of
Yeah.
that.
One day maybe I'll play it.
Okay. Or maybe you'll play it for the patrons, and then you'll be less scared. So become a patron, listen to Devin fail at guitar until he gets good.
Yeah.
What a noob.
But so the other, and I've talked a lot, but the other technique, there's tapping, which I was never great at doing, so I'm practicing that. And once you get it down, it's easier than it seems. Like most things, once you can do it, you're like, oh, that's actually not too bad. And then sweeping is a big one that I'm practicing a ton, and it's tough. It's I've there's tons of tutorials and they all say the same thing, and really it comes down to you just got to keep doing it over and over and over and over until you get it. So
Wow. I mean, that really, when you attempt to learn the instrument in such a way that a professional can do it at a moment's notice on a stage in front of thousands of people, like, wow, they put in the hours to be able to just do this day after day. When you sit down to try to learn it, and it's like, this is going to take me years.
yeah, there's
That's
for
awesome.
sweeping, and to explain what sweeping is, if you take a chord and you strum it a little slowly, well, if you're playing a fast melody and you want to play all the notes in a chord, it's called an arpeggio. So you're basically playing, you could hold the chord formation and strum it, but you don't want the notes to run into each other. So you have to play each of those notes at that speed, but dead in the note as soon as you played it. So it ends up being a very quick like movement of your fretting hand to fret all the notes as if they were a chord, while your other hand is still strumming it like it's a chord. So you get this like really fast. And then that technique, if you look at like a lot of metal solos, not only like modern solos of the guys who shred use the entire like fretboard for that, but also if you look back at like Metallica solos and Megadeth solos, there's like even just like 2-string or 3-string sweeping can be like part of it. Like if you hear a lot of like that's just sweeping across 2 or 3 strings with a hammer on or pull off, and it's like it looks easy in a way because it's kind of there's not a lot of movement, but it's like to get the pick and the synchronization between the hands and then the speed is tough without it, with a lot of like extra notes and vibrations coming from other places on the guitar. So
What can you do that sound one more time with your mouth? That's the sound of Wayne and Garth going back in time, isn't it?
Wayne and Garth?
Yeah,
Or
from
when
Wayne's
they
World.
do the like at the end of the movie where they do the different endings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the Devon's Playing a Guitar podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Um,
let's go.
Man, I remember me and you playing music. What is it? 20 something years ago now? Longer than that. No, that was high school. So that was in the late 1900s. We played music in your aunt's garage. That was a while ago with our Stones drummer, Jason. I wonder what happened to that guy. What an interesting character. All right, let's get to our next section. We did half an hour, guys. We're halfway there. We got Future or now?
No.
Okay, it looks like we've all brought something to the table, which is great. Not sure if we're gonna get to everybody, but we're gonna give Devon's voice a chance to rest. Let's hit up Devon. Why don't you? Or I'm sorry, Ben. What's jeez? Let's.
I'll make it quick, you all.
Tell us
So
about it.
as reported by japantimes.co.jp from January 5th, 2026, there was an article that said dental hygiene key to predicting mortality, Japanese researchers find, which is kind of fascinating. But the basic gist of it is that poor oral health among older adults is closely linked to higher mortality rates and a higher risk of requiring long-term care, according to two separate large-scale studies by researchers at Osaka Metropolitan University and the Institute of Science, Tokyo. So the basic idea here is that the study examined the relationship between dental condition and all-cause mortality. That's deaths linked to any cause, and found that death rates were lower among people with a higher number of healthy or treated teeth, while those with untreated cavities faced increased risks. Older adults with no remaining teeth had a mortality risk about 1.7 times higher than those with 21 or more teeth, according to the study. The researchers suggested that this might be because untreated tooth decay can impair chewing ability and contribute to chronic inflammation, which can affect nutrition and overall physical health. So this study builds on Japan's long-running 80-20 campaign, which encourages people to retain at least 20 of their own teeth by age 80. Achievement rates for the campaign reached 61.5% as of July, up from around 10% when it began back in 1989.
Jeez.
So, they're getting, they're doing all right there.
So
they're doing better.
I have a question. Maybe the article covers this, but is it the poor mouth hygiene that's causing other problems? Or are other problems causing poor mouth hygiene? Or is poor mouth hygiene an indicator that that individual is not going to take care of other problems that they have? Do they talk about like other?
The third one.
It's the third one?
Yeah, it's generally the third one. Generally, it's not. I mean, other than like they mentioned that if you've got poor dental health, that you're probably not going to eat healthy foods.
Okay, sure.
Right, because it hurts to eat healthy foods, perhaps, and so, but people with oral frailties, which that's defined as having 3 or more symptoms, including few remaining teeth, difficulty chewing or swallowing, dry mouth, or difficulty speaking. People with oral frailty had a 1.23 times higher risk of requiring long-term care and 1.34 times higher risk of death compared to those without the condition.
Jeez.
So that generally means that healthy life expectancy at age 65 is about 1.4 to 1.5 years shorter for people with oral frailty in the study. And those who visit the dentist regularly had a healthy life expectancy roughly 1 year longer on average, the study found.
Just 1 year? All those dentist visits, all that mouth pain just for 1 year? Forget it.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
out.
and that's like that last year is like the worst year of your life anyway.
Yeah, who cares?
I would imagine that this is so like that last year of your life could be a lot better if your teeth are doing great.
What's the suicide rate in Japan right now?
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. No, like, and that's I was being
actually
glib.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm being glib about it, and I shouldn't because it is a serious problem. But like, Japan has also had a historically high suicide rate, and I wonder if like all of this is tied together, where like because of these oral frailties, they know later in life things are going to be terrible, so punch the ticket early. No,
more complicated than that.
It's you're right. Yeah, it probably is way more complicated.
But well, first of all, oral frailty, like I think it's not necessarily that it hurts to eat healthy food. It's just that like I'm someone who will choose fast food over healthy food because it's easier and it tastes good. that also means I'm someone who's probably not going to brush my teeth as often because I'm a bit lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of feeds together like that. I remember my mom when I was a kid, and she rarely or ever would parent through fear, but she told me, she's like, if you don't brush your teeth, it could kill you. And she's like, I remember her saying, but I'm not sure. She worked in the medical field, but I don't know if she ever worked in an ER. But in my memory, she said she was working at an ER, and someone came in with severe dental problems and ended up dying. So forever, I was like, oh, I guess not brushing your teeth could kill you. And in my head, I was like, yeah, but very severely, like months and months of not brushing your teeth and your teeth all decaying, which I mean, really probably could kill you. But just the fact that I was like, oh, okay, so there is certainly a connection between dental health and your overall health, which actually I think is borne out by studies overall. I mean, not the severity like my mom was trying to communicate to get me to brush my teeth, but there have been other studies where it's like just having gingivitis is something that's linked to other health issues, and whether it's causative or just correlated because of another cause is possible. But dental health is important, and it does affect your overall health.
There is links to heart disease, and I don't.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure, but I don't have a study in front of me or anything. Probably wrong again. Okay,
wrong again.
Wrong again.
Bucko.
Which, by the way, Oral Frailties, awesome doom metal band name. So if we have any doom metal bands that are forming and also listening to this podcast, you can have that one. Oral Frailties, that's for you. Got to make sure on a shirt it just looks like the roots of a tree that's been pulled up, but it's actually your band name, because that's what they all look like now.
Yep.
All right. Anything else
much
with this article, Ben?
That's it. And the
That's
more on
all
this
for
as
now.
it develops.
Great. Awesome. Let's look at the time here. We have time for a short one. I don't think mine was a short one. Devin, is yours a short one?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty short.
All right. Let's have Devin fire off some science, and we'll take a break and do the rest. So what you got?
So the article I'm using is from IFL Science. It's called "U.S. Just Killed NASA's Mars Sample Return Mission. So what happens now?" And Jen actually brought me this story from a different source. She was telling me how the Mars Sample Return Mission was canceled because of Congress recently. And it does turn out that with the new budget, they have cut funding for the Mars Sample Return Mission. And they say it is from pressure from the Trump administration. And this was a centerpiece of NASA's exploration plans over the next decade.
Well, it's out there. What funding is there to be cut?
Well, that's so part of it. Yeah, they actually the Curiosity? They talk about Perseverance has already collected the samples.
Yeah,
there's 33 sample tubes, but the estimated costs have blown up the mission. It was in 2024. NASA said it was originally going to cost $11 billion. But they believe it could be done for $7 billion. They did ask for proposals on how they could be done cheaper. But I've heard of this for a while. Like this was a long-term plan to get samples from Mars back to Earth, because we've never done that. We really have are moon samples and of course like meteor samples that have fallen to Earth. So to have something from another planet, especially when we're looking for life and other things from Mars, like that would be awesome. So it seems to be at least on hold for now. They do talk about how this is only a year-long budget, so it could come back in the future. Also, they do have a surprisingly optimistic bent of this might mean that other NASA projects could receive more funding. They don't say what those are exactly. I know I talked about last year, not that long ago, about all the things that the Trump administration was cutting.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, yeah. I wouldn't be optimistic about anything happening in the near future. They do say that
is the money for like the processing of the materials. Like, I don't understand the thing's already out there. It already collected the stuff. The gas is already in the tank for it to come back. Like, where is this extra money going to? Like, to just retrieve it when the thing lands back onto Earth? and to take it to a secure location and to look at it with science eyes? Is that where the money's going? I guess so, to do the analysis.
Well, okay. So, and it actually does talk about that a little bit in this article. I read the article on my phone, and something must have happened because I did not see all these paragraphs. Now that I'm looking at it on my computer, I'm like, oh, there's more information in this article.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's very strange. It does say the compromise spending bill includes $110 million for Mars future missions, which will explore goals such as better ways to land on Mars, an ongoing challenge given the lack of atmosphere. Past missions have tried a variety of approaches. Okay, they talk about landing on Mars, but so there is $110 million in the budget, but like what they say, this project alone would have been $7 billion.
Yeah, like what's the money? Yeah, okay. Well, if they say that that's without that money they can't do it, then that must be true.
You know what we should do when we get all that money? When we get all that money from Venezuela from their oil, we can use it to do that, to fund space missions.
Or we could just ask one of the several billionaires that have all the bananas if we could have a couple of bananas. Ridiculous.
No, I'm hungry.
We're all hungry. Let's take a break.
Right.
Unless was there more to this, Devon, or was that it?
No, I mean, there might be because I didn't read it all apparently. But China.
It goes on to say.
It does appear China might step in and have the ability to do this. It says the Chinese National Space Administration also wants to collect Mars samples. It's almost certain to get them first. However, their vision involves simply picking up whatever rocks are handy after touching down in 2031 and blasting straight back up. Oh, okay. Yeah, the samples that we have waiting were like specifically chosen and analyzed like preliminarily to see if they'd be something interesting. So, but it makes sense if you don't already have a presence on Mars, you're gonna just get there, scoop something up, and come back. I mean, that would at least be something. It'd still be interesting to see.
Everyone don't tell Trump, because then he's going to be like, we're going to sell our Mars rocks to China for billions. And it's going to just be another crazy thing he says. And then he's actually going to
we've got to get him first. So,
you're right. All right, let's take that break now. And when we come back, we're doing a book club. This week, it's been delayed since ye old 2025. The Janitor in Space by Amber Sparks. There is a link in our show notes if you would like to go read that yourself. It's a fairly short read, if I remember correctly. I read it like 3 weeks ago. So check that out and join us after the break. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, let's do a quick poll. Who here thinks our listeners should support us on Patreon?
Affirmativo.
There you have it, a 100% unanimous vote. Supporting our Patreon means exclusive content, unfiltered episodes, and access to our Discord.
Plus, it's scientifically proven to make you cooler, plain not evaluated by any actual scientists.
The evidence is anecdotal, but compelling.
So go to patreon.com/science-faction-podcast and make the best decision of your life. Or don't, but just know we're all judging you.
I'm judging you the hardest.
And we're back.
Hello.
Hi.
And that's a big thank you to our patrons, Renee and Josh. Happy New Year, my friends. And we're glad that you're still with us. Next week for book club, we are reading a story by Ted Chiang, who you may know as the person who wrote the story that Arrival was based on.
Mm-hmm.
So we're reading his story, What's Expected of Us, which I've read, and it's super good. And I figured I would bring it to this group. So
yeah, well, you've read others of his, right? He did the one.
Yeah,
I forgot. I really liked it, but I forgot what was the thing. You don't see other people's looks. Was that it? You can't tell someone's practice.
That's right. Yeah. I remember that one from his. It was a book of short stories that he had that we. Yeah. So give this one a shot because I think you guys are gonna like it. But this week, Stephen, what are we reading? What have we read?
This week we have all read, listeners included. You better have read it as well, because we don't want to have to deal with this trauma on our own. The Janitor in Space by Amber Sparks, which, of course, you can get at americanshortfiction.org. There is a link in our show notes. It's a pretty quick read, but it is not an easy read, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's a lot of trauma and troubled past. Basically, the story follows a janitor working on a space station. She's meticulously cleaning all the debris left behind by astronauts, disgusting things that astronauts leave behind.
Yes.
And as she's drifting through the orbital facility, her internal monologue reveals that she has this troubled past on Earth that involved prison, trauma, and a desperate need for isolation. Thus, here she is in isolation, hiding from all the astronauts while also cleaning their messes. And she sees her manual labor as a form of atonement, finding comfort in the vast silent void of space, which offers more peace than the religion or the human connection she left behind. And that's pretty much it.
It gets deep. It gets dark. There's no trigger warnings in front of this thing. When was this published? It doesn't say on the page. That's weird.
Yeah, they don't mention any, but there was just
abuse,
childhood abuse,
trauma, abuse, that kind of stuff. And really, what I remember, it likens this to, hey, I need to get away, and also only like this job is kind of only for people like that. Like you have to be a certain kind of person to be a janitor in space, somebody that does not need human connection and has had enough of humans. And if I remember, there's somebody else on the station that she talks to, right?
And plays chess with.
Yeah, and they kind of make a point to say like
the Watchman.
Yeah, that person probably has some kind of past as well. Now, Devon, you were really excited to talk about the story. What did you want to add to this conversation about the janitor space?
I think I might have said it before the podcast, but any excitement in my voice was merely for the fact that I had been prepared, not because of the content of the story. Just that I'm like, I just read this. It's fresh in my mind. But that was 3 weeks ago. So now I'm reading it right now. But there's some things I find strange about it. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily about the space and sci-fi aspect of it.
No.
Because you could be anywhere. I mean, she could be on a barge. It could be like, I left my crappy old life behind and became a sailor or something.
Yeah.
But it's odd because being in space, it's funny to describe the way the astronauts act and how they treat the space station. It's like, at least astronauts today are aware of how necessary it is to keep everything clean. I don't think they would just be throwing around underwear and used
items,
feminine products. And
that as well.
It's like, this is an interesting world where I guess her life on Earth was pretty bad, but it sounds like we don't it feels kind of like the Aliens future. Like even like spaceships and space stuff is kind of dingy and like, we're all just getting by barely and we're struggling. And, it's not the idealistic, like, we're exploring space and isn't this cool? Aren't we lucky to be the only people who've experienced this and things? So that's kind of interesting.
Truckers in space.
Which is kind of like the most recent season of For All Mankind, where they were like recruiting like normal people to be like, hey, look, we've established a place on Mars. We don't need like genius, scientists and Air Force pilots and stuff. We need people who can just clean the floors.
Well, that's the thing is once you get to the point where you need a janitor in space, then you've reached a certain point where it's no longer special to be up there. If you can hire somebody at minimum wage or, they don't talk about cost, but you think a janitor, you think of a lower wage, probably. That's what I assume at least. If you can afford to just throw someone up there to clean up after the astronauts, then the astronauts aren't anything special either, So this story, the tone of it, I thought was very dreadful, I guess. But like very well written. Like that's not what I want to say.
Yeah.
Like it is that way on purpose. I want to read a couple lines here. The faces that chase her, even now, even in the farthest fields of space where nothing grows, nothing whispers, nothing lives or dies but the first things that ever got made in the universe. She isn't sure whether she believes in God or not, though she always told her pastor she did. She isn't sure any woman ought to believe in God. That is dark, right? That is dense, that is deep, that is dark. And it's, if that's what you're in the mood for your sci-fi, if you like your sci-fi with a side of trauma, check out The Janitor in Space. You know, if you're just feeling
Sparks.
by Amber Sparks, if you're just feeling peachy keen about the world around you right now and you feel like you need to be brought down a little bit because things are going so well, read The Janitor in Space by Amber Sparks. I like it. Like this is a 4-star story for me, for sure. I thoroughly enjoyed the darkness of it. That's my
Very
take
cool.
on it. What about you, Ben? What do you think?
I'm glad it's for you. It's not for me.
Okay.
And that's just again, well written,
Yeah.
but it's fascinating because it definitely it talks about religion and the place of religion within this character's life and how they grow and change and try to find their place, and yet she's made her way out into space and she still has to deal with vacuuming up urine and it's again short, but just not for me.
Like there's not really a
How
story.
about you, Devon?
Like it's like a character piece where it's just like here's a person and what they're doing in their background, but there's no real plot, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just following her monologue essentially of like why I'm here and what I'm getting out of this, and without going too deep or too dense into the specifics.
So I was thinking like, oh, maybe like if you took this and you could write a metal song about it. So I asked ChatGPT to do that.
Okay.
The title is "Clean is the Future." It says, "Midnight orbit corridors hum. I drift like a blade through aluminum lungs. Vacuum my sins from the seams of the wall. Stars cut my eyes, but they don't look back at all. Zero-G footprints, I don't need the rail. I know every push, every vector, every fail. Windows preaching an infinite lie while I clean up the proof that you're alive." Pre-chorus, "You wear white suits, you touch the divine, but you shed like animals, leave filth behind." And the chorus is, "I am clean, but I'm not good. I polish your future with a broken tool. I am clean in starlit hell. Atonement screams in the work I do well." And then there's another verse, bridge, verse 3. Wow, it goes a breakdown. Wow, they write the whole thing. Verse 4.
Too much.
Wow.
Pull it back, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
What was the name of that again? What title did it give that song?
"Clean as the Future."
Clean as the Future by Oral Frailties. Wow. Okay. Well, there's that. Thank you for getting rid of that drinking water, Devon. We didn't need that. We have enough.
You call it progress, you call it brave. I call it messes I'm paid to erase. Maybe you molted, maybe you changed. Black shell saints in a hollowed out cage.
Wow, that's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
All right, Devon, you got to write the music to it now. Don't have the ChatGPT make the music.
Like, I have to write it? Can't I just have an AI do it too?
You're so lazy.
Can't ChatGPT just listen to it for me? Do I have to experience it myself?
No, ask it to grade that and see how well it did. I wonder what kind of grade it'd give itself. Ridiculous. All right, guys.
All right.
I think that's it. So next week, like Ben said, Ted Chiang's What's Expected of Us. I've read some of it and was blown away. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm excited to finish
Yeah,
it. It's like one
doesn't
page.
take. Yeah, it doesn't take much to pull you in. So.
No, it's real quick. It's gonna have a much lighter tone than the Janitor in Space, or Oral Frailties, Clean as the Future cover of Amber Sparks is the Janitor in Space. What am I even saying anymore? Oh my gosh. All right, guys, let's wrap this one up. We're almost at exactly an hour, which is perfect. We did it perfectly. Our first episode of the new year. Perfect, you guys. No.
Oh yeah.
No
this
notes.
Was a perfect episode.
No notes.
Sure.
Absolutely perfect. If you enjoyed this episode, hey, there's 590 more. Is that where we're at? Yeah. On our website, you can find bonus episodes, patreon.com/Science Faction Podcast. You've probably already heard me say that in an ad somewhere. Yeah. Devon, do you have any final thoughts for us?
I have the bridge, which according to ChatGPT should be spoken or growled. It's
Oh no.
Growl it.
God is a story they sell to the weak. Clean is a fact. Cold steel and bleach. I told my pastor I came for God. I came to vanish. I came to get lost.
Wow. Ben, do you have any last words for us?
Well, you guys have probably heard about the spin-offs that are coming for Stranger Things. Like there's the Australian one that's just normal things.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.